All right, in this lesson, we will represent and perform. So, represent and perform translations. Translations on a coordinate plane. So, just before we begin, a translation is a slide. We'll say it's a slide. Or it's like a yeah, we'll use slide. So we're going to be sliding this shape around. We're going to be translating this shape around. We will be shifting. Some people say shift. It's a slide or a shift. So we have this pre-image. This is after it has been translated right 5 units, translated up 5 units, translated left 5 units, translated down 5 units. So I'm actually going to, what should I, that's in purple then. So I'll put purple just so y'all can know. So this will be vertex A, vertex B, or vertex A, vertex B, vertex C. Vertex A was at 2, 1, 2, 1. Vertex B was at 4, 5, 4, 5. And vertex C was at 6, 2, 6, 2. So A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. So this first one says translate right 5 units. I'm going to use blue. So this was my A prime. This is my B prime. This is my C prime. So A prime, B prime, C prime. A prime is 7, 1. B prime is 9, 5. And C prime is 11, 2. If you see from 2, 1 to 7, 1, the 1s are the same, the 5s are the same, the 2s are the same, like, right? Like A, 1, 1, 5 to 5, 2 to 2. But if you notice, this 2 changes to a 7, this 4 changes to a 9, the 6 changes to an 11. All we're doing is we're taking the x's. So we originally had x's and y's, right? And then we're taking all these x's, the 2, the 4, the 6. Remember, we have x, y. X, y. So we're taking all these x's. Actually, I'm going to write that in purple also. We have x, y's. And we took all these x's, the 2, the 4, the 6. 2 plus 5 is 7. 4 plus 5 is 9. 6 plus 5 is 11. We took the x's and we added 5. But if you notice, these y's, the 1, the 5, the 2, the 1, the 5, the 2, they're the same. I just moved right. I didn't move up or down, just moved right. And so watch it like that. Let's see what happens when we translate left. So let's write this A prime, B prime, C prime. So A prime. So A, we move left. Oh, I forgot we're not using that. We're using green on this one. A prime, B prime, C prime. So we went left 5 units. So we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is A prime, this is B prime, and this is C prime. A prime is at -3, 1. B prime is at -1, 5. And C prime is at 1, 2. Ooh, I'm going to correct this real quick. And we said C prime was at 1, 2. So once again, we start off with x's and y's, right? And then they transform into, or they translate, and they become, let's see, the 2 is now negative 3. The 4 is negative 1. The 6 is 1. The 1 is still 1. The 5 is still 5. The 2 is still 2. Okay, so that's the same. So the y's are the same. Remember that we have an x and a y. The y's, the 1, 5, and 2, 1, 5, and 2 stay the same. The x's, how do I get from 2 to negative 3? How do I get from 4 to negative 1? How do I get from 6 to 1? 6 to 1 is easiest, probably. 6 minus 5 is 1. So really what's happening is I'm taking my x's and I'm subtracting 5. So when I go left, I subtract 5. And then I keep my y's the same. Okay, let's try this one. So this is up. So I'm going to do it in this reddish color. So A prime, B prime, C prime. So we had 2, 1. Now it's at 2, 6. Oops. And then we used to have 4, 5, and now it's at 4, 10. 4, 10. Oops. 4, 10. And then C prime, well, C used to be at 6, 2. Now C prime is at 6, 7. So we had x's and y's. We had x's and y's. But if you notice, since we went up, that's a y change. So not an x. So the 2, the 4, and the 6, the 2, the 4, and the 6, the x's, they stayed the same. But the y's, the 1 became a 6, the 5 became a 10, the 2 became a 7. The y's increased by 5 because we moved up. We added 5. Let me write that a little bit nicer. Maybe not like that. I guess that's nicer. Okay, and then we have orange. Let's hope this orange comes out. So A prime, B prime, C prime. So A was at 2, 1. Now A prime is at 2, negative 4. So 2, negative 4. B prime was at 4. B was at 4, 5. B prime is at 4, 0. Let's B prime. And C was at 6, 2. C prime is at 6, negative 3. So once again, we had some x's and some y's. We had some x's and y's. And they became orange. Well, let's see. The 2, the 4, and the 6. 2, 4, and 6. Those stayed the same. So the x stayed the same. The 1 became negative 4. The 5 became 0. The 2 became negative 3. So 5 to 0 is minus 5. 1 minus 5 is negative 4. 2 minus 5. So I took the y's and I subtracted 5. Cool. Next page.